Yeah, sure. So my name is Anthony. My channel is called Shaman Cosmiq, and basically the meaning behind it comes from the message that I want to convey, and that's a shamanic message. And I really think that's something that the world is calling for, maybe lacking right now. I also think that ours is maybe the first generation to have a more cosmic perspective in a really long time. So I think those perspectives just kind of came together to form Shaman Cosmiq. So a shaman is the go-between between the seen and the unseen worlds. That could be, and usually is, ghosts and demons and gods in more animist religions and tribal religions. It tends to be nature spirits and stuff like that that the shaman are communicating with. But a monk can also play the role of a shaman, and a lot of the classical religions, of which Hinduism is really the only remaining, have a very shamanistic tone. And I think that's a big contributing reason why Eastern philosophies and spirituality are having an extreme resurgence. You're calling for that shaman that needs to come forward in all of us. Well, a shaman communicates with the unseen world in a lot of ways, and in every way. But I would say the main way would be, mind speak, dream walks. Beings will visit you in a dream. The dream is like so real. It's not like a dream where things are jumping around, they're different, they're weird. You're in a normal place that you know, or you just got up right out of bed as if you had just woken up, and then you wake up again later after, seeing an alien or what have you. So I would say the most prominent messages are going to be through those, but also Maya, just the reality around you. Your spirit family is communicating with you all the time, whether that's, the thoughts we think of as our conscience, or sometimes, things just happening, signs. The only thing is, everything is a sign. Your whole reality is kind of orchestrated by higher spiritual forces before it's even manifest physically. So everything is a sign. I wouldn't say that it's just a ghost thing, because the unseen world constitutes everything unseen. I mean, chi is another energy, right? That's a big part of it. Aliens, what you would call aliens, ET, extraterrestrial, angelic beings. There are a lot of different phenomena involved in it as well. All the chakra, meditation stuff, prayer. So it's not just a ghost thing, but definitely the spirit realm, what we would call ghosts, is a big part of it, sure. Shamanic phenomena that I've experienced. Well, the first time anything like this is ever, I didn't remember this. My mom told me the morning after. I was a kid. I was maybe, I want to say somewhere between 6 and 8. And I guess in the middle of the night, I sat up in bed. Never ever learned anything about meditation or Eastern religion or philosophy. And I woke up in the middle of the night, apparently, kept my eyes closed, held a mudra, said a mantra a bunch of times, never opened my eyes, and just laid back down and went to sleep. And she asked me to, what it was, what I did, and I had no recollection. I had an experience once with a being that was, I don't know if you would call them an angel or an alien. When I saw them, definitely they had the big eyes, It was an instance of mind speak, and just the contact, just the singular exchange of thought for an instant. I broke down weeping. It was just so intense, and it wasn't even really that emotional. It was just so overwhelming, the amount of information. If we were to have that conversation that me and this being had, it would take us hours. I don't know how long it would take. I've never tried to talk about all of it, but it was like an instant of understanding of all this information and knowledge. And I couldn't stop weeping. It was crazy. It was weeping, just instantly, just tears. I couldn't breathe. I'm honored to have met a Sasquatch man. It was at my apartment in the middle of the city in Phoenix. And after doing some research, I came to find this is actually not an uncommon experience. The Sasquatch people, like many ET races, are beginning to reach out to our race again after a long time of like being in social quarantine from them. Maybe the damage that we're doing to the planet and their environment, maybe the positive differences that we can make or that we maybe as individuals chose to make and why we're incarnated. So all these experiences are part of reality. They're not just part of my reality. If you're seeing this interview, there's a reason. And I think the most important answer that I've been called to bring forward is just the fact that the answers are out there. One thing I think people can do is just have a more mystical outlook on things. Like I said, everything is a sign. So maybe you've had a bunch of shamanic experiences and completely overlooked it. And as far as mind speak, if you are trying to learn how to do things like mind speak or be psychic and all that stuff, that's not really the purpose of all this. In fact, you already are telepathic. I think the key is, like I mentioned earlier, to pay attention to your own thoughts. An unprompted thought, for example, is different from a thought that you're actively thinking, that you're actively generating. Sometimes a thought just pops into your head. Consider that unprompted thought next time something like that happens. Did you learn a lesson from it? Is it something serious? Did you learn? Was it directing you to do something, do the right thing? Examine your thoughts, I think, would be if you're asking about mind speak. Sure. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, share, and sub. Your support truly makes a difference. Remember, we fear what we don't understand, and this is why knowledge truly is power. Be at one.